What's up guys, Nashty here and welcome back to my channel. For today's vlog episode, we'll be looking at budget smartphones with 6 gigs of RAM. So before this year in 2019, it's not really common for budget smartphones, those that cost less than 10,000 pesos, to actually have at least 6 gigs of RAM. Most of them top off at 4 gigs. But this year, there's quite a number of smartphones from various manufacturers that have 6 gigs of RAM. So first, what is RAM? RAM is random access memory. Basically, it enables you to open an app and let it run in the background. So basically, that's what you call multitasking. If you have several of those apps running in the background, without RAM, your apps would close once you switch to doing another thing on your phone. For example, when you have a lot of RAM, then you can browse and then suddenly switch to gaming, or probably take a photo with your camera phone, or send some messages on your social messaging app. So it allows for some multitasking. Without RAM, or if you have less of it, your smartphone would have a hard time because every time you close an app, it actually closes and you would have to reload it when you're gonna use it again. While it always doesn't follow that having more RAM gives you more multitasking capabilities, in the Android world at least, it actually does matter. So as I've mentioned, for today's vlog episode, we'll be looking at smartphones with 6 gigs of RAM. And most of them cost less than 10,000 pesos. And I'm sure you're excited as I am to find out which smartphones I'm talking about. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty. Here are the best budget smartphones with 6 gigs of RAM. Starting off with the Huawei Y8P, which comes with a 6.3-inch OLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with EMUI 10.1 on top and is powered by an octa-core Kirin 710F processor. Like any other Huawei device, it has no access to Google Play services. It has 128 gigs of expandable storage via a proprietary nano memory card slot and 6 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide angle camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It also has a 16-megapixel selfie camera. It also has NFC and a USB-C type port. It has a 4,000 mAh battery capable of 10 watts fast charging. It also has an in-display fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 9,999 pesos and was released in September 2020. The things I like about the Huawei Y8P is its OLED display, its large base storage, NFC, and its in-display fingerprint scanner. However, it doesn't have Google Play services. It uses hybrid dual SIM and has a proprietary nano memory card slot. Next on our list is the Infinix Note 7, which packs a 6.95-inch IPS LCD of 720p HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass. It runs Android 10 with XOS 6 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio G70 processor. It has 128 gigs of expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. It has a quad camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, a 2-megapixel macro sensor, and a 2-megapixel dedicated video camera with quad LED flash. It also has a 16-megapixel front-facing shooter. It has a 5,000 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging support and comes with dual speakers and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 7,990 pesos and was released in August 2020. What I like about the Infinix Note 7 is its large base storage, dual speakers, large battery capacity with fast charging support, and of course its very affordable price. However, it has a low-resolution display, no ultra-wide camera, and uses the dated micro USB port. Another Infinix smartphone that made our list is the S5 Pro, which comes with a 6.53-inch IPS LCD of 1080p Full HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with XOS 6 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio P35 processor. It has 128 gigs of expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a QVGA low-light camera sensor. It sports a motorized pop-up 40-megapixel selfie camera. The Infinix S5 Pro comes with a 4000 mAh battery which supports 10 watts fast charging. It also has a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 7,490 pesos and was released in October 2020. Some things to like about the Infinix S5 Pro is its large base storage, its 40-megapixel pop-up selfie camera, and its very affordable price. However, it doesn't have an ultra-wide-angle camera and comes with a dated micro USB port. The fourth smartphone on our list is the Samsung Galaxy A21s, which comes with a 6.5-inch PLS TFT display of 720p HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with One UI 2.0 on top and is powered by an octa-core Exynos 850 processor. It has 64 gigs of expandable storage and 8 gigs of RAM. It comes with a quad camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus coupled with an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel macro sensor, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It also has a 13-megapixel front-facing camera. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery with 15 watts fast charging support and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 9,990 pesos and was released in July 2020. What I like about the Samsung Galaxy A21s is its large battery capacity and fast charging support. However, it has a low-resolution display. Another smartphone that made our list is the Tecno Puvua 4 Pro, which comes with a 7-inch IPS LCD of 720p HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with HiOS 6.0 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio P22 processor. It has 128 gigs of expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. It comes with a quad camera setup with a 16-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a 5-megapixel macro sensor, a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and a QVGA AI lens with quad LED flash. It has a 16-megapixel front-facing camera as well. It packs a 6000 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging support along with stereo speakers and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 6,990 pesos and was released in September 2020. Some of the things I like about the Tecno Puvua 4 Pro is its large base storage, stereo speakers, large battery capacity, fast charging support, and its very affordable price tag. However, it has a low-resolution display, no ultra-wide-angle camera, and has a dated micro USB port. Last but definitely not the least is the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC. It comes with a 6.67-inch IPS LCD of 1080p Full HD resolution with a 120Hz display refresh rate, HDR10 support, and Gorilla Glass 5 protection. It runs Android 10 with MIUI 12 on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G processor. It has 64 gigs of expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. The Poco X3 NFC comes with a quad camera setup with a 64-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel macro sensor, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It also has support for 4K videos, as well as slow-mo videos and gyro EIS. It has a 20-megapixel front-facing shooter. Its notable features include a hybrid dual SIM, NFC, IR blaster, and a USB-C port. It also has a 5,160 mAh battery with 33 watts fast charging support. It also comes with stereo speakers, a fingerprint scanner, and has IP53 splash resistance. Its price starts at 10,990 pesos and was released in September 2020. There's a lot to like about the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC, like its 120Hz display refresh rate, its HDR10 display certification, Gorilla Glass 5 protection, its capable chipset, its 64-megapixel camera with 4K video capture, NFC, IR blaster, stereo speakers, splash protection, and large battery with ultra-fast charging. On the downside, it's relatively heavy and has hybrid dual SIM support. We have here a comparison table of the 6 budget smartphones with 6 gigs of RAM. For display and resolution, it's only the Huawei Y8P that comes with an OLED display. It must be noted, however, that the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC has a 120Hz display refresh rate. Unfortunately, for the Infinix Note 7 and the Tecno Puvua 4 Pro, both come with a measly 720p HD resolution. As for OS and chipset, all 6 smartphones run Android 10, but the most powerful one is the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC with its Snapdragon 732G processor. As for memory and storage, obviously all 6 smartphones come with 6 gigs of RAM. Unfortunately, 2 of them come with only 64 gigs of expandable storage, which are the Samsung Galaxy A21s and the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC. However, it must be noted that the Huawei 8P uses a proprietary nano memory card slot. As for the rear and front cameras, all 6 smartphones except for the Huawei Y8P and the Infinix S5 Pro come with a quad camera setup. The Poco X3 NFC seem to have the most versatile camera setup, at least on paper. As for battery and charging, the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC again takes the lead with a good combination of high battery capacity and ultra-fast charging. It must be noted, however, that the Tecno Puvua 4 Pro has the largest battery capacity. In terms of pricing, all 6 smartphones have been priced competitively and are quite close to one another. The most expensive of the bunch is the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC at 10,990 pesos, while the cheapest is the Tecno Puvua 4 Pro at 6,990 pesos. For me, it's an easy win for the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC because it offers the most number of features with very minor cons at an amazing price. If you still find the Poco X3 NFC a bit expensive, then you can opt for the Infinix S5 Pro, which offers decent specs at a cheaper price. I hope you guys learned a lot from this vlog episode. As you can see, there's some smartphones now available in our market which come with at least 6 gigs of RAM. And of course, ultimately, the choice is up to you depending on your other needs. And I hope in the future, we'll have more budget smartphones with at least 6 gigs or even 8 gigs of RAM, which is, at the moment currently limited to upper mid-range and flagship devices. So, thank you so much guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and like the notification bell. Only here on the channel where Nashty is nice. I'm Nashty. Till then.